The Chernobyl Children's Project International. In 1991, A.D. Roach was working as a volunteer in the Cork CND office. CND means Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. One day she got an urgent message from a group of doctors in Belarus and the Ukraine. It was a simple cry for help. SOS appeal. For God's sake, help us get the children out. Belarus is next door to Ukraine. In 1986, the world's worst nuclear accident had happened at Chernobyl nuclear power station in northern Ukraine. It was the worst environmental disaster ever. Up to 9 million people were affected by radiation. Chernobyl is still the most radioactive place on Earth. About 3 million people lived in the area around Chernobyl. Many of them became ill. Anyone born there today will be sick from radiation. The doctors working with children in Belarus and Ukraine were desperate to send the children away from the radioactive area. They thought that if the children could go somewhere else, even just for a little while, they would begin to get better. And it wasn't just the radiation that was the problem. People had lost their jobs, their homes, and their belongings. The communities were struggling just to survive. They needed help. A.D. Roach went to see Chernobyl for herself. She talked to the doctors and the people working there to see what they needed. When she got back to Ireland, A.D. set up the Chernobyl Children's Project International. She started to raise money to bring children to Ireland for a holiday away from the radiation. That summer, the first of the Chernobyl children arrived to stay with Irish families. And there's a picture of them. The Irish air was much cleaner than in Chernobyl and there was no radiation. The children could relax and play. They ate good food and laughed and made friends. Since 1991, 18,000 children have visited Ireland. Some of the children come back year after year. The doctors say that a holiday here gives back 2 years of stolen life, thanks to our nuclear-free environment. A.D. did not stop there. She knew that it was not just the children that could come on holidays that needed help. The ones left behind needed her too. The Chernobyl Children's Project International began to work with people in Belarus. Irish volunteers went to Belarus to help the doctors there. Some of the children who were sick from radiation needed operations. In 1994, A.D. went on a flight that brought 4 sick children to Ireland for life-saving operations. Since then, over 200 children have been brought to Ireland for help that has saved their lives. Even better, a brave surgeon from the USA called Dr. William Novick has begun to work with the Chernobyl Children's Project International. He goes out to Belarus and Ukraine and does the operations there, so the children do not have to travel when they are so ill. The people of Belarus have begun to rebuild their communities. The Chernobyl Children's Project International works hard to help them. Many people in Belarus were living in orphanages. The project began to help build homes of hope. These are homes where children can grow up with foster parents. The people of Chernobyl and Belarus hope to be able to shut down all the orphanages soon. Their children will grow up in happy homes.